Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on issue 1 of Justice League The Nail. Now as you know, Justice League The Nail was a 3-issue series from Elseworld that was meant to tell these kind of what if scenarios in the DC universe, like what if Batman was a Green Lantern, what if Superman was raised in Britain, and what if Batman had basically took place in the whole Victorian era. And this was meant to show what if Superman wasn't part of the Justice League, and what if there was a lot more unnecessary consequences. So the story mainly starts off how a nail ends up on the Kent's tire. They realize they can't replace it, so Coles decide to kind of spend time at their farm. And of course, we all know that since they've basically missed where they're supposed to meet Clark, this ends up with years later Lex Luthor becoming president and mayor of basically Metropolis. And we see how, because of his help in that, crime's gone down. Also, unemployment has gone down as well. And we kind of see how there has been a war on metahumans in that. And we see how Perry White meets his former worker, Jimmy Olsen, who's now working with Lex Luthor, and points out all of his times being a superhero. The Red Devil, Turtle Boy, and Elastic Lad. And we do kind of see how Jimmy Olsen even shares his thoughts on the metahuman thing, and even points out that during World War II, other heroes showed up to help, but since the situation in that has gotten worse, it's left people divided about these metahumans and what they're really meant to be. And we see how after an incident that happened with Amazo, Hawkman ended up getting killed, and Oliver got pummeled to a pulp, where he's now working with the sort of government and news team to spread false stories. And this is Oliver taking his rage, frustration, as well as his insecurities out on people. And we see how what little remains of the Justice League are viewing their opinions about this whole news propaganda thing. But of course, they know they need good PR and something that can help them. So we kind of see how after a massive argument, we see how Batman tries to get everyone to calm down, and Hal points out they got someone who can help them with this whole fiasco. And of course, they get the journalist Lois Lane. And we see how, at the Outsiders jet ship, we kind of see how they're mentioning about Oliver Queen and we do kind of see how Dana is a little sad and disappointed that she knows Ollie's just taking out his frustrations, and it's going to take time for him to sort of see that. So of course, the team have to find Metamorpho, who has disappeared along with his wife. So have to try and make sure no similar mistakes happen again. And we see how Lois Lane mentions about the Justice League, about how, they can sort out the problem, they need to do further research, but even points out Batman is more of a problem due to the way he's portrayed in that and everything else. And we do kind of see how Lois does unintentionally get onto Batman's bad side. And we see how everyone's talking about Lex Luthor's campaign, everything that's happening and all that. We see how at Arkham, Catwoman is being kind of interviewed by a sort of psychiatrist, but we see how the place ends up getting attacked. The psychiatrist ends up getting blasted, and turns out it's Joker using some special shock gloves, along with, Scarecrow, Penguin, Two-Face, Clayface, and everything else. But we see how, after the Justice League's still arguing and all that, we see how Batman gets word that something's going on in Arkham by Robin and Batgirl, and goes in to investigate. So we kind of see how, after basically dropping off with Lois Lane to her location, we see how she learns that Batman is actually human, and slowly understands a bit more about the Justice League. And we see how, Diana feels a bit disappointed with Hawkwoman, with everything going on, as well as that she feels like her actions and words are falling on deaf ears. And we do kind of see how Barry Allen as well as Ray Palmer mention about that they're not really aliens, but they're also meant to be having these gifts and powers for a reason. And we do kind of see how Hawkwoman still wants to try and help out the best she can after Carter died. And we do kind of see how, yeah, the Doom Patrol learn about Oliver Queen, and we see how Chief and the others are attacked by an unknown gas, and after trying to get Beast Boy to help break through, they end up getting captured by some guys in some weird suits. And after, yeah, in Arkham Asylum, we see how Commissioner Harvey Bullock, who's now been promoted after the death of Jim Gordon, tries to find out what the force field is. Turns out only Batman and the others can go through, but only Batman is going to go in to protect his sidekicks. And this is where I think Barbara as well as Dick Grayson do feel out of character, and we do see how Batman makes it clear that they need to stay put. And we see how after getting a distress call from the Guardians of the Galaxy, Green Lantern mainly goes in and meets Star Sapphire, and turns out he's stuck in some weird bubble thing. And yeah, we kind of see how after Sapphire tries to leave, Hal tries to kind of investigate what this dome is, and turns out after seeing Adam Strange's body, he tries to kind of make sure to give the Guardians the signal to know something's up. And we see how Joker tries to take control of Arkham Asylum, having all the villains fight to the death, and Catwoman making it clear that she's not gonna take his crud anymore. And we see how Batman tries to take on Joker, and yeah, after getting pummeled and shocked, we see how, yeah, his sidekicks show up, and we see Batman realizing to his shock, his horror, as well as to his dismay, that Joker is gonna torture them until they die, and saying, "No, Joker, please, I beg you, please." And yeah, we see how on Apocalypse, the Sword let them know about what happened to the parademons and the Boom Tube and that, but we kind of see how, yeah, the other gods on Apocalypse find Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, and Darkseid wants to find out what's going on. And after Matron basically makes it clear he can offer him help, Darkseid blasts him and knows that this is time for war. And yeah, after seeing what Joker's done, Catwoman mainly pummels Joker, but we see how Batman is so furious, he basically acts on his emotions, tries to take on Joker single-handedly, and yeah, after a few scrapes and blows, we see how the press basically see what's happened, and due to Joker ending up dying, they now think Batman killed him. And this is the story. So I think this one is kind of okay, but it's an Elseworld story that's trying to be something, saying, what if Superman was not in the Justice League, and what would happen if there was this anti-metahuman campaign and everything. I think Justice League Unlimited handled it a bit better, and it feels like some personalities feel like they don't exist, that don't need to be there. I know since this is an Elseworld story, this isn't canon, but there is some ideas that could work if it was in the main DC stuff. So I think this one definitely deserves thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. Comic Reviewer here, signing out.